Have you ever wondered why some musicians are able to play a piece of music by simply listening to it? And it might seem impressive, but it's a skill that anybody can learn. So let's get creative. So most likely you've heard the term ear training before. And although it's certainly not the most sexy topic, it is definitely a useful skill to master. And to avoid flooding you with too many exercises and too many examples, I will cut this video in multiple chapters. So of course, ear training is not a must as a musician, but it definitely makes your life as a musician and as a composer easier. Ear training can speed up the process of transcribing a song, or it can help you when you want to play along with musicians and improvise on the spot, so you need to act fast. So for example, if you are able to distinguish by ear a major chord from a minor chord, and if you can also hear the root note, then you also know which scales you will be able to play on these chords. And ear training can also speed up the composing process when you are able to accurately imagine what you want to write and what you have written. Before we start with all the exercises, I do recommend that you know all the interval names and the correct distances that go together with them. And also I recommend that you have basic chord knowledge, so that you know what a triad is, but in any case chords will be in a later chapter. But let's start with exercise number 1. This one I call singing the interval. What you do with this one is you play a note, and that's going to be your root note. And you will sing an interval on top of it or below it. Let's try something. So my root note is the A. And I'm going to sing a minor third above and a perfect fourth below. So let's start with the minor third above. Da, da. And now with the perfect fourth below. Da, da, da. And now let's check on the piano. Okay, so that's correct. So you practice this with all the intervals. So also let's try a major 7, for example. So I'll sing the A note. Ba, ba. That's the G sharp. So that's the major 7 of A. So I know that singing large intervals is difficult. And it does not matter if you sing them up or down, they're always a bit tricky. So one trick to sing the major 7th interval in this case is to sing the A and then to sing a minor second below, because this is also the G sharp. So what that would sound like would be this. Da, da. So that's our G sharp, and now I'm going to raise it an octave. Da. So when we sing the interval now, we have da, da. Another trick that you can do, when you sing the root note, and then you raise the root note with an octave, and then lower it with half a step. Let's try. Da, da. And now I'm going to lower that octave with half a step. Da, da, da. And now the interval. Da, da. So of course, probably in the beginning you need to practice this out loud, this with raising the octaves. Or at some point you need to internalize this and do this in your head. And you can use the same tactic for singing large intervals downwards. So here comes daily exercise number 2. Singing intervals with a changing root. So this daily exercise is comparable to the first one, but now you just randomly change the root note to which you relate the other intervals. And this can get quite tricky. Here's an example. Da 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 do da do. So when you're practicing your intervals from day 1, it's important that you really focus on the character of each interval and their separate sonorities, because they really do have a unique character, and the quicker you memorize them, the better. So for example, when you play minor third, it's really important to focus on the texture that it has. And then just compare it to a major third, for example. You see how soft a minor third sounds compared to a major third. So this is daily exercise number 3. Random intervals with a fixed root. And this is quite a fun exercise, so let's get to it. Play a tone that's going to be your root note. In my case, again, that's going to be the A note. What you do is you play the A note first, and then you play a random note above or below it. And it does not matter what octave you do it in. And then try to recognize what note it is and what interval it is. So let's try a few. minor third, F sharp major 6, C major 6 down, octave, D perfect fifth down, B flat minor 9 or minor second. And you can make this exercise even more difficult by not repeating your root note. So that means that you need to memorize and internalize the root note. So exercise number 4 is play random intervals. A quick game that you can play on any instrument that's capable of playing 2 notes at the same time is just randomly play 2 notes and then hear what the interval is. So that would sound a bit like this. So these interval exercises are your starting point. And you can do these exercises in 5 to 10 minutes, so be sure to incorporate them in your daily routine. And work with them a bit before diving into any other advanced ear training tips. And why, you ask? Because intervals are the primary building block of music. So it really pays off if you do this the right way and not try to take the easy way out. Also, before I forget to mention, there are loads of tips online with famous songs that start with a certain interval. And I recommend that you check them out, but I do want to advise to let them go as soon as possible. You don't want to rely the rest of your life on a certain song to recognize an interval. So try to recognize the intervals as soon as possible by their unique color and character. And while you add these new tips to your workout routine, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. And for now, see you next time.